Hey coaches, this is Coach Bill from Hoopsalytics, and I'm going to show you how to customize the Hoopsalytics scoring panel to add custom events and sets and that sort of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a cut that we just saw. So cut is one of the stock options you can enable. You can add this for my team and the other teams, like so. So now when you go back to the game, you can see cut on the right hand side is an option. So when we go back to the event, here it comes, we pass, and there goes the cut. So if we click on cut, you can pick the player who did the cut, like so. And you can rate the cut, and these are all stock options you can customize. That one's kind of lazy, we're going to rate it bad. The type of cut was a 45 wing cut. And you can see it goes on the timeline. Likewise, here's another cut. That one's a little bit better. So let's go ahead and add another cut. Pick the player. And we'll call this one OK. And again, it was a 45 wing cut. And again, it shows up in the timeline. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a get action. It's going to be pitch back, like so. And there's going to be a flare screen at the end. Let's go ahead and add those two. So let's go back to the get. So there's the get, the pitch back. Isolate on that. Okay, so now let's go back to the customize, and we're going to enable offensive actions. These are all custom actions you can add. I'm going to click on actions for the type of event. These are the ones that we've added previously and assigned hotkeys. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new one, and we're just going to call this a get. So we go down to where we added, like so. Call this get. And we can also enable or disable different primary events in the scoring panel to clean it up a little bit. So you can see how often various ones are used, like hockey assists we're not really using, go screens we're not really using, give and goes not so much. And so these will all show up under more button. You can still access them, but they're not the primary choices. So we're going to remove some of the ones we don't use very often. Go back to event customization, back to the game. Now if we go to the place where there was the get action, now we can go to offensive actions, pick the player who did it. Do this one. Now you can see get is an option, so we can click get. Or if you want to see some of the other more choices that we just hid, we can do it like that. Let's go back and add the get. So offensive actions, pick the player, and choose get, and boom, it shows up in the timeline on the left hand side. You can also add a hotkey for any of these actions as well. So if we go back and we go find get, let's call it G. So now you can add the action from the keyboard rather than having to mouse over. This is a huge time saver when you're scoring a lot of games. And again, this is all fully customizable. So now if we were to add a get action, for example, go there, pick the player, and now you can see G in the left-hand side in black, and that's how the shortcut for the get action. Likewise, you can also edit your events too. So if you want to add a different event, pick one from the list. You can also change the player, the event type, etc. That's another way to easily edit and change your events. And now here's the flare that we saw earlier. So now let's go to offensive actions. So another way to quickly add an event is just right from the more panel. So we can pick the player that did the flare. It's not there, it's not under more choices. We can add a new type. Call it flare. Like so. Now you can see it in the list of options. Just click that. And now you've got flare as another offensive action you can track. And that's a quick primer on how to customize Hoopsalytics. So go ahead and customize your own and show us what you can do.